Hello, my name is Marla and welcome to Newcastle Library's Story Stomp Online. Today we're going to be reading a wonderful book illustrated by Newcastle's very own Liz Anelli. We're going to be singing some songs, playing some games and having lots of fun. Before we get started, let's do our acknowledgement of country because here at Newcastle Libraries we are on Awabakal land. I'm going to clap and sing. Do you think you could try singing the words back to me? Here we go. This land we're gathered on today was cared for the Aboriginal way. Awabakal, they were the tribe, caring for this land through time. Now this land we all must share. Mother Earth needs love and care. Good job. I'm going to say some words in Awabakal now. I'm going to say Nyang Duman Awabakalumba Ani Barai, which means we acknowledge that we are on Awabakal land. All right, it's time to sing our Story Stomp song. Do you remember how it goes? Let's rub our hands together for some big claps. We're going to stomp our feet and we need to nod our head and make a funny noise. I think you can do that, can't you? Here we go. If it's Story Stomp today, then clap your hands. If it's Story Stomp today, then clap your hands. If it's Story Stomp today, then we'd better shout, hooray! If it's Story Stomp today, then clap your hands. If it's Story Stomp today, then stomp your feet. If it's Story Stomp today, then stomp your feet. If it's Story Stomp today, then we'd better shout, hooray! If it's Story Stomp today, then stomp your feet. If it's Story Stomp today, then nod your head. If it's Story Stomp today, then nod your head. If it's Story Stomp today, then we'd better shout, hooray! If it's Story Stomp today, then nod your head. Stomp your feet. Clap your hands. Shout, hooray! Good job, everybody. It's time to find out what our letter of the day is. Do you know what this letter is here? It's a bit like a squiggly snake, isn't it? It's the letter S. We've got a big S and a little s. Do you think you could use your finger pencil to make a snaky S shape? That's the way. Can you think of some words that start with a S sound? What about, well, we thought of snake, didn't we? Silly. Socks. What about squishy and sand? Oh, I know another word that starts with S. It's school. School is our word today. Have you been to big school before for a visit? Maybe you're already in primary school. Or maybe you go to preschool and you're looking forward to going to big school one day. Our story today is all about a girl that's just about to start school. Her name is Maddie. Our story is called Maddie's First Day. It's written by Penny Matthews and illustrated by Newcastle's very own Liz Anelli. And the book is published by Walker Books. Shall we find out about what Maddie's doing? Oh, I can see lots of lovely pictures here that look like they've been drawn by children. I can see an elephant, a dragon, and lots of kids wearing school uniforms. Maddie's first day. There's a backpack with a little mouse in it. Do you take a backpack to school? Today, Maddie was going to school for the very first time. How exciting! Her friends Charlie and Maya were going too. There they all are, waking up in their beds. Charlie's getting woken up by his dog. Maddie had a new school uniform. She had new shoes and new plain white socks with no frills or anything. No pictures on the school socks. She's got a red skirt to wear and a button-up shirt. She liked her hat the best. It's got a big, broad rim to keep the sun off her face while she's playing. Maddie's new backpack was already packed. Inside it were her pencil case full of coloured pencils, her painting smock, her water bottle, and Blanky. Maddie had hidden Blanky in her backpack when Mum and Dad weren't looking. Blanky was supposed to be only for bedtime now. Do you think Blanky's allowed to go to school? There's Maddie, sneaking Blanky in. Dad made Maddie a special lunch. Inside her new lunchbox he put celery sticks, a cheese sandwich, some grapes, yum yum, orange juice in a little box, and a yummy brownie for recess. That's a special treat. That looks like a good lunchbox. Do you think you'd like that for lunch? Everything was ready for Maddie's very first day. There she is, having breakfast before school. After breakfast, Maddie put on her school uniform. She did up all the buttons by herself. Then Mum did her hair in a perfect plait. "You look like a proper schoolgirl now," Mum said. "Very grown up," said Dad. Dad's taking a photo of her very first day at school. "Oh, big hug," said Mum. "And then I have to run." Mum had to catch the train to work. I think Dad's going to take Maddie to school today. Because she was feeling so grown up, Maddie didn't hold Dad's hand as they walked to school. But when they reached the school gate, Maddie started to feel a bit wobbly in her tummy. School was very noisy. There were so many kids. Look at them all going in through the gates. And she couldn't see Maya or Charlie anywhere. She reached up for Dad's hand and held it tightly. Maddie's class teacher was called Miss Rose. Miss Rose said, "Welcome, Maddie." She showed Maddie the locker where she could put her hat and her backpack, and there was a label on the locker with her name on it. There it is, just up there. It says Maddie. Dad gave her a goodbye kiss. "Mum will pick you up after school," he said. "Have fun." "I will," said Maddie. But when Dad let go of her hand and walked away, the wobbly feeling in her tummy came back. Do you think Maddie might be feeling a bit scared and nervous? She's never been to big school before, so she doesn't know what's going to happen. Maddie unzipped her backpack and took out Blanky. Blanky was soft and comfy and smelled like home. I think Blanky's helping Maddie to feel safe. And then she heard somebody say, "Hello, Maddie." It was Maya. "Is that your Blanky?" she said. "Why did you bring your Blanky to school?" Maddie stuffed Blanky back into her backpack. Her tummy felt wobblier than ever. Oh, poor Maddie. In Maddie's classroom, there were books and computers and tables and little chairs. There was art on the walls and a big whiteboard with writing on it. Can you see the writing up here? Could everybody else read the writing? Maddie couldn't. She doesn't know how to read yet. That's what she's going to learn how to do at school. First of all, Miss Rose taught them a song. Maddie tried to sing, but her voice just wouldn't come out. Afterwards, Maddie sat at a table with Maya and Charlie and two other boys called Hussein and Henry. They're all doing some drawing together. That looks like fun. When they were all drawing a picture of their favourite animal, Maya said, "Maddie brought her Blanky to school." And Hussein said, "What's a Blanky?" It's something babies have," Henry said. Oh, that's a bit mean, isn't it? Maddie stared out the window. She wished Mum was at the gate already, waiting for her. but she wasn't. At recess, Charlie whispered, "Come with me." He took Maddie's hand and led her over to the lockers. Charlie opened up his backpack. And guess what? Charlie had brought his blankie to school too. There it is, peeping its head out. How funny was that? Maddie and Charlie both started to giggle. Maddie giggled so much she fell over, and then she giggled some more. After recess, they did counting. Maddie and Charlie counted with blocks. They made the highest tower. That's a pretty cool tower. In their lunch break, Maddie and Charlie played chasey with Henry and Hussein and Maya. They went on the roundabout and on the climbing frame. There's lots of games to play in the playground. They've got hopscotch and caterpillars and skipping. That looks like fun, doesn't it? Back in the classroom, Miss Rose read them a story. Then everyone chose a book from the book box to take home. That's a bit like going to the library. When the bell rang for the end of lessons, Mum was waiting at the gate. Maddie raced up to her and gave her a great big hug. "How was your first day?" Mum asked. "It was the best day ever," said Maddie. Before Maddie went to bed that night, she put Blanky away in a drawer. There's Blanky over there. But she left the drawer a tiny little bit open, just in case. I bet she's tired after her big day at school. And right at the end here, we've got a class picture with all of the kids that were in the book. And that's the end of Maddie's first day. Didn't school look like lots of fun? Do you remember some of the things that Maddie did when she was at school? I can remember that she did some drawing and she made a really cool tower out of blocks that was really high, and she got to read a story. And do you remember the playground? They had climbing equipment and skipping and hopscotch. It looked like so much fun. I think Maddie's really going to enjoy being at school. I know a silly song about school and about a lamb that goes to school. Do you know the song, "Mary Had a Little Lamb"? I've got a little lamb here to help us sing the song. What does the lamb say? Ah! Here we go. Mary had a little lamb, a little lamb, a little lamb. Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow. And everywhere that Mary went, Mary went, Mary went. Everywhere that Mary went, that lamb was sure to go. It followed her to school one day, school one day, school one day. It followed her to school one day, which was against the rules. No, I don't think I've ever seen a lamb at school. Have you? I've seen lots of puppy dogs waiting at the gate that would like to go in. But Mary's little lamb went into school with her. And you know what it did? It made the children laugh and play, laugh and play, laugh and play. It made the children laugh and play to see a lamb at school. But the teacher said that lamb must go, lamb must go, that lamb must go. The teacher said that lamb must go, no lambs allowed at school. Off you go, little lamb. Well, you might like to play schools after Story Stomp today. You might like to pack your backpack, just like Maddie did. I've got a backpack here that I've packed. What kind of things did Maddie have in her backpack? She had a lunchbox, didn't she? Can you see the lunchbox? Do you remember what Maddie had in her lunchbox? She had some really tasty stuff. She had some grapes. And what was on her sandwich? It was a cheese sandwich, wasn't it? And some juice. And she had a very special treat. It was a chocolate brownie. Yum, yum. What would you put in your lunchbox? Let's see what else we need to take to school. We definitely need a hat, because if you don't have a hat, you can't play outside, can you, in the sun? And don't forget to pack some crayons in a pencil case so you can practice your writing and your drawing. And last of all, make sure you've got a book to read. It's great fun to do reading at school. I wonder what you're going to put in your backpack. I know another game that we can play to do school games as well. You might like to set up your very own classroom with your toys at home, and you could be the teacher. Why don't you try doing your very own story time at home with all of your toys? Well, I hope you've had fun at Story Stomp today and that you're going to play some fun school games afterwards. It's time for our goodbye song now. Have you got your waving hands ready? Here we go. If it's time to say goodbye, then wave your hands. If it's time to say goodbye, then wave your hands. If it's time to say goodbye, then we better give a sigh. If it's time to say goodbye, then wave your hands. But we all know hands go la-di-da-di-da, la-di-da-di-da, la-di-da-di-da. We all know hands go la-di-da-di-da. They don't just wave goodbye. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Make sure you check the Newcastle Library's webpage and our Facebook page for lots more fun story times, rock and rhymes, and lots of activities that you can do at home. We'll see you next time. Nunda kumba kumba.